Hey guys, JC Smith here. I got a video for you here. This is a continuation of the F-150. It's kind of funny to me that friends of mine watch my videos and they call me and we talk about it, or they'll send me a text or whatever. And a friend of mine saw the video when I showed it. I took the cab and the frame off of that, and he's told one of my other friends that you watch, within a video or two, he'll be painting that frame. I guess I'm just that predictable. I don't know, but it bugged me. I didn't like it. I know that what the outcome is going to be is not as good as it could be. If I wanted it to be a really nice job, I should have taken it all apart and sandblasted everything and all that. But let's be brutally honest. This is a 2004 F-150. It's just not that vehicle. What I'm doing here is preservation. Anything I can do to slow down the process to make it last longer and keep it as nice as I can, as long as I can, for a minimal amount of investment, I think it's worth it. It cost me probably $5 in gasoline and diesel to pressure wash that frame. When I used the pressure washer, I did turn the heater on, the diesel heater, so I used extremely hot water to pressure wash that. And then what I did is I took an air hose and I blew all the water out the cracks and crevices several times, and then let it dry for a full day. And then today I went over and made sure that there wasn't any standing water and that it was warm enough, like the actual metal itself was warm enough, because it was 48 degrees here last night. And it's in August, so our weather's really weird. So anyways, it was, so I went over it again with an air hose to make sure I didn't miss anything, and then I started to mix up the paint to paint it. I'm not a painter, so what you're seeing me doing is just some guy messing around with this truck. That's the reality of it. I just want it to be better than it is, that's all. Hopefully preserve it as long as we can. Anything I've done wrong in the painting process, it'll just have to do. Just ignore it. Don't ever do what I do with the Gradall. That's just too dangerous. Nobody should be doing that, including myself. Now, unfortunately, when I'm going to show you this, and I have to explain this because it's going to look kind of weird to you, but every time I went to a new coat, I start at the same place again. So you're going to see me stop. You're going to see me come back and tell you on this coat or that coat or whatever, and it looks like I'm still at the same point. Well, in reality, what I'm doing is I do the whole entire truck, start in the back, underneath it, all the way forward, then let the Gradall down, then I do the top side from the top all the way back. And then on the next coat, I lift it back up and do the same thing again. That way I don't forget the process, and I hopefully can not miss anything. That's really what I'm trying to do here. So you'll see that. So don't think I just only painted the back, but we're just trying to make sure, use a method to the madness, I guess. But anyways, without any more of my trap flapping here, I'll get off of this and let you get on to the video. Kind of hard to see over there in the shade, but that's round one. It's got all the dirt off it and a lot of that loose rust. There's more rust on this frame than there was the last one, but we'll just have to deal with that. It's not as new. It's almost 10 years older, so I guess that's acceptable, but it'll look worse before it looks better. Takes so long to get this done, and then you blow so much crap around it, you gotta go back over it again with just a light spray to get all the extra crud off that it blows from the other side. But nonetheless though, man, that engine compartment came real clean. This was real grimy over in here from oil changes and spills and stuff, and it came out pretty clean. Front axle looks good. Yeah, this ought to paint up nice. This should not be a problem. Okay, I'm going to give it one more once over, and then I'm going to go get some paint, let this dry, and probably paint it tomorrow if it's warm enough. It's been pretty cool. It's been in the 70s, I'd say mid 70s all day today, so if it warms up enough and all this dries up good, then I get on to painting, and hopefully she'll look like a new one again. So said, I'm gonna fire up the pressure washer and give it another coat, or another dousing, or whatever you want to call it. Okay guys, today we're gonna paint that F150 frame. I went and got a fresh gallon of paint. I just opened my other one up. There was some left in it, but it was kind of chunky at the bottom, and I don't want to use that. So I just picked up a new one, nothing special, Rust-Oleum oil base. Just something that's gonna hopefully hold up pretty well. And I pick up these mixing cups, pretty simple. You know, I really probably ought to mix it in a bigger one, because I had to fill this thing 4 times. 4 times on the last one. There isn't quite as much to paint on this truck as the last one, so we'll just go ahead and use this. But anyways, I mix it 4 to 1. So it's 24 ounces. I'm going 6 ounces of acetone right between these two, and then I'll fill the rest with black paint. You can use acetone or mineral spirits, I'm told, but this one farmer friend of mine says he uses acetone because it's supposed to help harden at setup time on the oil-based paint. I don't know. I'm not a painter. I'm just some guy playing with his truck. And you know, we get pretty close on our 6 ounces, but I'm not trying to match a factory color, even though I guess you could mix this and have it spray thinner or thicker, but I don't want to splash it because it pours so badly. Let's see. That's close enough. Okay. Now we'll get us some oil base in here. This is always a mess. That's why there's cardboard here. And I'll fill this up to 24. Not like I can see the 24 mark right now. And quite honestly, I don't really care about the mess on the other. Yeah, I think we're right there at 24. I don't really care about the mess on the can. This is a truck frame, and I'm going to use probably this whole gallon, so I'm not going to get too crazy about it. But mixing, if I learned anything from the times I have done this, mixing this acetone into this paint is a big deal. And then mixing the paint before, you know, the gallon jug before we start, getting it mixed good is very important. In fact, when I picked it up, I had them shake it first, because the last time I did this, I got it home and I was mixing for about a half an hour because all the bottom of the paint can was very, very thick. So, you know, if I learned anything, it's go ahead and have them shake it and then mix it very, very good. And anyway, so this is how I mix it. It's 6 parts acetone, and I guess the rest of that would be what, 18 parts paint. Is that right? Anyways, it's 3 to 1. 3 parts paint, 1 part acetone. I'm gonna go ahead and mix this. I'm gonna get it in the gun. The gun I'm using is, again, this El Cheapo Harbor Freight. This is nothing special. Just what's called an HVLP gun, I guess. Gravity fed, holds 20 ounces up here. And it says to set your air pressure, I believe, at 50 to 70. I set it at 55 last time. It worked well. When I fill the gun, I just stick it in the vise here, take the lid off. That way, you know, I'm not spilling it, because I don't have one of them fancy spray gun holders, nor do I think I really need one for as little painting as I do. I don't like painting. I do not like doing this, but you know, it's a necessary evil. If I want the truck to look as nice as I think it will, then I guess today I have to be kind of a painter. And then I keep the second one around mixing cup. This is the one I used last time. I just bought a new one, just, you know, so I could take my mixing stick. That was one thing last time. I'd have to set it on the cardboard, and when I picked it up, I'd get a little cardboard so it would stick to it. So I thought I'd just take another mixing cup, a little acetone on the bottom. And I know this seems like I'm mixing forever, but that's one thing I did find. If the batches that I made that I mixed well sprayed much nicer, and I had less troubles. It actually sprayed really well. I'm just saying that as far as some of the issues that I did see when it was spraying, but I think we'll go with that. And this gun, you know, it is by no way a pro gun or anything I don't know, you could probably paint a car with it, I guess. I don't know. I'm just not a painter. And I usually fill that sucker dang near the top, because I'll probably fill this about 4 times. And the last thing is I learned was to keep that from dripping, because you get a little thickness right here, and it ends up in your gun. So let me get all set up and let's get spraying. Now before I get started, you see how I got this hung up? This is not safe. Don't do this. Don't ever do this. It's not safe. You could get hurt. Find a different way. Find a safe way. Don't do what I'm doing. And you know, you should have an air mask, a mask on with filters, so you're not breathing this crap. Do what I say, not what I do. Is that what they tell me all the time? But don't go lifting something with chains like that. If them chains break, you're a dead man. You know, if you guys see this video, it turned out okay. Alright, don't make this mistake. I turn the air compressor off when I turn the regulator pressure down, and I never turn the compressor back on. I'll bore you with this, but on to the second coat. On to the next one. I just finished up another coat. This will be coat number 3. Last coat. Alright guys, I now have 4 coats on here. Turned out pretty good for what it is, right? You know, it wasn't a rust-free frame to begin with, but I did manage to get 4 good heavy coats on. I don't know, it's got to be better than it was. I mean, it's not as nice as the last one. You know, it's a little harder to get coverage on, but nonetheless, I'm pretty pleased with it. If nothing else, it'll help preserve this thing for a while. You know, at least as long as I'll own it. I don't know. I had a guy I know stop by when I was doing this, and he thought this was an awful lot of work for a 2004 F150. And I suppose it is to most people. To me, I don't know. I don't like painting, but taking this from what it was to what it is, and knowing that it's going to look good, look better for a long time, is worth it to me, I think. But it's tough. There's a lot of stuff crammed in there, a lot of stuff to try and get a good coat on. It's not nearly as open as the Super Duties, that's for sure. So getting in places was tough. Not to mention the air compressor regulator started acting up. When I told you I forgot to turn the compressor back on, that was true. I went over, I turned the compressor on, and I went back to spraying after it built up to about 50 pounds. And all of a sudden it really started spraying a lot of overspray. And come to find out, the pressure regulator let loose, so I was getting over 100 pounds of PSI out of the gun. So, you know, a little setback. I didn't have another pressure regulator handy, so I did have a ball valve. So I put a ball valve in, and I just turned the ball valve till I could get it down low enough. And it seemed to work okay. At least I could finish what I was doing. So, not bad. Not bad at all. It's Sunday, so we're going to get all looky-loos. We have a campground not far from us, and a boat launch. So, which is why one of my friends stopped by, because he was taking his boat out. But anyhow, not horrible. I'm pleased with it. It makes for a much nicer truck, that's for sure. At least for me. All this work I probably could have saved if I just bought a newer truck, huh? That's alright. I don't know. What do you guys think? Think it turned out alright? I guess. Anyways, I'm going to leave you with that. You guys like what we're doing? Give us these thumbs up. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and leave your comments down below, guys. We'll catch you on the next one.